I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see below you, or the very first impression that you have as you come back down to the surface.
I see it's like a large kettle, but it's attached to the fireplace or something.
Okay. The kettle for tea?
No, like a large, like something's being cooked in there.
Like a cauldron type
Yes.
of thing? Okay. And I'd like you to just become a little bit more aware of what is around you. What else do you notice?
I see the fire. I see a table, but I don't see anything else. I just keep looking at the fire like I'm supposed to be watching this kettle for some reason.
Okay. And what I'd like you to do is just shift your attention now toward your own body and look down at where your feet are. And tell me what you see on your feet.
It's just like a little strap thing. There's a sole, but there's just a strap over top, like holding my foot inside of this.
So like a sandal?
Yeah, but it's definitely makeshift. Like, it's not anything we wear today.
Okay. And what's the strap made out of?
It looks like it's like a rough rope, which wouldn't be comfortable.
So it's just tying the sole to your foot, basically?
Right. It's like it's tying it. It's tied into the sole, and you just kind of put your foot in it.
Okay, I see. So are you barefoot in those shoes?
Yes.
And I'd like you to shift your attention now up over your body and tell me what you're wearing on your body.
It's a dress. It goes to like my knees. It's got some kind of a pattern on it, but I can't tell what the pattern is. It doesn't seem like it's that ridiculously long ago because it looks almost like a doily. I see like the doily trim like on the dress, but it's like flowers or something. There's some kind of a pattern on it. It's blue.
And so are you in a female body?
Yes.
Okay. Are you young or old?
Middle age.
About how old?
30s, early 30s.
Okay. And are you healthy?
Yes.
Okay. And so I'd like you now to become a little more aware of where you are and what you're doing there.
It's weird, I see nothing else.
Okay. Are you inside or outside?
I am.
Do you get a sense that this is a place where you live?
I do. It feels very like Little House on the Prairie. That's the easiest way to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the outside of the building now, which is weird because I wasn't outside before.
And what do you see?
It's dark wood and some kind of white stuff like goes in between the wood to make the house.
To seal the gaps?
It's very small. It looks like it's one room and a little side room maybe for a bedroom or something.
Is that side room inside of that little building?
It is. Now I'm back inside and it's just another little portion of the room that has been made into like a bedroom.
So it's one big space that's kind of partitioned.
Right.
And so what do you see in that bedroom?
A bed that's very small. It looks like I'm here all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I see just a lantern.
And what does the bed have on it?
I can't see if it's a match. There's something that the blanket's covering, but it's a... What is that? Like,
you can touch it and you'll feel the texture.
it looks like it's animal skin kind of blanket. It's furry, but it's not like fun furry. I don't know how to explain that. It's definitely animal something.
And so if you go back to the bigger portion of the house, and back to that pot over the fire. Do you know what you're doing there?
I'm definitely making stew, but I don't know for who. There's nobody here.
And it's okay. What is this stew made of? What did you put into it?
I see potatoes. There's already meat in here. The liquid's in, the meat's in. I'm adding the potatoes. And then I just sit back down at the table and just stare at the kettle.
And what kind of meat is in the stew?
Deer?
And where did you get the meat for the stew?
I feel like I have a husband that would have done that, but I don't see him.
Okay. He will come into the picture when it's the right time. So just tell me what else you see around the house. So there is a table and a fireplace, I'm guessing?
Yeah, the fireplace is very large. The kettle's like over the fire, and the kettle can be pulled out and then pushed back in.
When you cook in that kettle, how much stew do you get?
That's what I don't understand. It's a large kettle, like I would be making food for 100 people. But there's nobody here.
And so just allow the time to pass. I'm going to count to 3. And you're going to move to the next moment when it becomes clear to you who you're cooking for. 1, 2, and 3. What do you see now?
I'm in like a large barn. There are tables, which doesn't make any sense because it doesn't seem like, I don't know, the tables look too new for the time. There are people here. I can tell there's people here, but I can't see them per se.
And what are you doing?
I'm standing in the front of the room looking out at all the tables.
And what happened to the stew?
It looks like it's on the front table, almost like it's a buffet line, but it's still in the cauldron thing that makes no sense.
Okay, it's all right. Just allow it to come to you. And so who is serving it?
There's somebody standing over there now I can see, and they've got a large ladle, which just looks ridiculous.
And what's the ladle made out of?
Wood.
What do they put the stew into?
Looks like some kind of a wood style bowl, but this doesn't look healthy because you would think that the stew would soak into that wood, but people are taking it.
And so people come and pick up their bowl and go to the tables?
Correct.
And can you look at the people and tell me how they're dressed?
The guys are very simple. They have like a white shirt on, darker pants. It reminds me honestly of like Amish. That's exactly kind of what we have on. All the girls seem to have dresses on.
Okay. What is your role in this community?
Looks like just to make sure that everybody eats. I'm not helping anybody. I'm just standing here watching, making sure that everybody gets through the line. I mean, I'm doing nothing.
And as you're standing there observing, what are the thoughts or emotions that you're experiencing?
Biggest thing is just making sure there's enough for everybody.
So you're concerned?
Yes.
But you have done this before, right?
Doesn't seem like it now that you say that.
This is the first time?
Yes.
And why were you given this charge?
Seems like it's my turn. I'm old enough now. It's my job.
So how do you think it's going?
Good. Everybody's smiling.
So let's move a little bit to the end of that meal and tell me if it went okay and if you had enough stew for everybody.
Yes. There's actually plenty left over. I think I went a little crazy. But now I know better.
And so do you get any feedback, encouragement from the people?
They said it tastes wonderful. But I'm asking everybody to please come back for seconds, so obviously I made way too much.
And do they?
They do.
And so after they finish eating, what do they do?
They just left.
Did they leave the bowls?
No, I don't see them anywhere.
What is your job at that point?
Clean up. I have to take the kettle back, but I have to figure out what to do with all the extra food that can't go to waste.
What do you do with it?
I feel like I give it to the animals, but I don't see animals.
So allow the images to flow into your mind. You're going to move to the point where you're disposing of the rest of the stew and see what you do with it.
I definitely take it. I don't know if it's by our house, but I can see a farm. I see some pigs. I see maybe cows. And I give it to this gentleman. He wanted it. He's thanking me for giving it to him.
Do you know what he's going to do with it?
He's saying thank you because he doesn't have enough straw for the animals, so this is going to help out this season.
Oh, he's going to feed it to the animals?
Yes.
What do you do after that?
I'm back home sitting, staring at the fire now, but the kettle's not there.
So I want you now to see if there is somebody else that lives in the house with you. Just become aware of that.
I don't know if it's... The bed is so small. I feel like I have a boyfriend maybe, but I don't feel like he lives here because the bed is just too small. I don't feel any kids.
So does your community allow cohabitation without marriage?
No.
So if you had just a boyfriend, would he be staying in your house?
No.
Do you feel that you are in a relationship though?
I do. I feel very happy. But I'm just staring at a fire. I don't know what's happy about that.
Okay. So on the count of 3, you're going to become aware of who you're in a relationship with. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you see.
There's a man. It's weird. I can feel him, but I cannot see him. Because I feel this warmth. Like he's standing beside me, but I just can't see him.
That's fine. So how do you feel being with him?
Very happy.
Is he your age or older?
He's older.
How much older?
I'd say in his 50s.
Oh wow, that's quite an age difference.
It's like he's... Now I'm even questioning if it's not my dad. He makes me feel so warm. It's just a warm feeling. It's not a sexual feeling.
And just see yourself spending time with him and having conversations. And then you may notice, in fact, how you address him in a conversation.
It's my dad. It's not... Because he's telling me what I need to do tomorrow, what still needs to be done around the house. It's like I'm not supposed to do anything until it's brought down generational. And he's giving me the okay to start doing things I'm supposed to be doing. Like cooking for the group. And he's saying it's okay to go out and help him, but I don't know what he's doing.
So help me understand the generational part. Do you mean that he has to okay everything that you do?
It's like you're supposed to do the cooking for... Our group is very small. There's like 20 of us here. And only one person does one thing for everybody.
Okay.
And it's now my time to start doing the cooking.
And do you shift the tasks around?
No.
So once you become the cook, that
You're
will be...
always the cook.
Okay. And who was the cook before you?
It was my mother, but I don't see her. I feel like I was given the task because she's already passed. And we knew that was going to happen. So I had to be taught earlier because this was not my task before. That's why I haven't done this before.
What was your task before?
Looks like babysitting.
Okay. Well, who were you babysitting?
There's probably 5 or 6 children in the group.
Mm-hmm.
So I just watch the children while the parents go out and do what they need to do for their tasks for the day.
Okay, and then your mom passed, and so you became the cook.
Now I'm the cook.
And so what does your dad do? Become more aware of that?
He's definitely the hunter. He's the one that got the deer, the meat that was in the stew.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely his job, but there's more than just him that do that. It seems like there's a group of them that go out, but he's over that entire group to make sure that they're getting all of the meat that we need for the week or whatever.
And how do you store the meat?
It looks like there's some kind of a building. I see him going into the building, and he's not coming out with the meat, so the meat must be in there. I don't know if there's refrigeration in there. There wouldn't have been. It's too old. But
So I wonder if you can just follow him in as he leaves the door open. Go inside and just observe what he does.
It's all brick. It's as tall as a table. It's brick on the sides. I don't know what makes that top. There's a fire inside of this table, and the meat is laying up on this some kind of a shelving, but it's not like our shelves. It's made of some kind of material. And it's almost like it's smoking the meat. He keeps saying we're smoking the meat, which I don't even know what that means.
Well, you can smoke the meat.
He said you just have to smoke the meat. It stays if you smoke the meat.
See, well, that makes sense. Anything else of interest in that smokehouse?
No, it's just very weird. I feel so much joy around him, but I cannot see him. It's like he's in front of me, but he just will not turn around.
And I wonder if you can ask him to reveal his identity to you. Because you may find that you know him beyond just that life. That you recognize him when you see him. And you know exactly who he is. And who is he?
It's my son. No.
Does it help you understand the connection that you had with him?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to continue to explore that life, and we'll connect with him again at a later point and give you a chance to really come together. But for now, I want you to allow those images to float away. And I want you to see yourself in the middle of your community. And just describe to me what you see, being that there are only 20 of you there.
I don't see any woods or anything. It's very sandy, which is very weird. I don't know if it's that it hasn't rained, but everything's very yellow, like it's dead. It almost seems like it just hasn't rained in a while. There are other houses. It's all one large circle area. Mm-hmm. And we gather in the center. There's a big fire pit that we could have a ceremony, which already scares me because I don't know what's happening there. I see the children running around. I don't see any grocery store or anything like that. I just see our houses.
Mm-hmm. And when you say that everything is yellow, what is yellow? The grass?
Yes.
Okay. So you do see the grass around you.
It definitely is dead grass. It's tall. What it looks like is we just built here, but we don't have anything to cut the grass. Mm-hmm. So we just step on it and it's died.
Okay. I want you to become aware of who you are and where you came from and how you came to be in that place. That small group of you. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you know.
Seems like somehow we're all tied, but I can't figure out. It's definitely not family. It just seems like My father is running everything, so he got to pick who was in the group. Everybody has a job. We are not to do anything but our jobs.
Are you connected based on any religion?
Doesn't seem it, but we're definitely connected somehow. Because I don't know where he would have found the other people, because I don't see anybody around but us. I don't even see like we go anywhere, but we have to.
So on the count of 3, we're going to travel back in time to that point of clarity where it will be revealed to you when that starting point was and why the decision was to come together as a group and how the group was selected. 1, 2, and 3.
We were in a larger group. Feels like we're out west. There was a larger group. It was just almost like pick a side. And we decided to move away from the other group because they were not doing their part. So we just grabbed our group, and that's why there's a lot of men in the group. There's very, very few women. And the men were responsible for building these makeshift huts. And that's why there's not very many of them. Because we haven't got everything built yet. We're still trying.
So initially you were all traveling somewhere?
It looks like we were in a much larger city, but something happened to the city. And everybody had to separate. But they were very, almost like weak, defiant. And he doesn't want to have anything to do with them. He keeps saying, just leave them behind. The strong will survive.
So let's go back to that city. On the count of 3, you will become aware of what was happening to the city to create the situation that led to this small group of you moving on or leaving. 1, 2, and 3. What do you see?
The town's on fire.
And what started the fire, do you know?
They're soldiers. They're just coming in and they're demanding that we get down. But we're not willing to give up.
And what do the soldiers look like?
They definitely have a uniform on. It almost just looks like a full black uniform, which doesn't make sense. It looks like it's silver on the uniform, but I know it. Maybe it is. I can see their hat. I can see the guns. They're just coming through, and I could see them setting fire to everything.
What does their hat look like?
The hat itself is black, the brim is white, but it has some kind of a pin right in the center of the hat. But the guys all have, it's maybe some kind of a material. They've got it all wrapped around their faces so the smoke doesn't affect them.
And so what do the soldiers want from you?
I keep hearing disease. Makes me think that there was some kind of a disease and they want to kill us all because they're not sure what's causing that. But we're fine, we're strong, there's nothing wrong with us. And that's why I keep saying the strong survive.
So are the soldiers part of your larger community, or do they come from afar?
It looks like they come from afar. Everybody's scared. They're not supposed to be there.
Become more aware of the issue with the disease. What is the disease and what is it doing?
It looks like it's almost eating at the skin. There's a couple people, their whole arm is like missing its skin. They can't figure out what's causing it, so they just want us all to go. There's thousands of us, but not like hundreds of thousands. I would say like 1,500 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I can hear the soldiers just saying, take them out, take them out.
So the soldiers are afraid that whatever you have will spread
Exactly.
out to them.
And that's why they're fully covered. Their hands are covered, they have gloves on. They've got their face covered. I can see their eyes, but that's all I can see.
And so when they start the fires, then what happens?
Everybody's running. And unfortunately, they're just shooting people as they're running.
And how's your group then formed?
We're hiding. I see like a barn. We're not in the city. We're just enough outside. We can see what's happening, but we got out in time.
So are you just a random group of people that joined together?
We're just the ones that listened to my dad because he said this was going to happen.
And can you become aware of what city this is or where it is?
Can't tell what city, but I feel like I'm in Arizona. It's very hot.
And so you run away together. Do you have a plan? Do you have a goal?
There isn't. He feels if everybody does what they need to do, we'll be just fine.
Is there any discussion of making it a permanent settlement, or do you plan to move?
No. This is where we're going to stay.
And do you feel like it's in the desert somewhere, or is it...
It is, and maybe that's exactly why it's so... Everything looks so dead. It's just very desert-like. I don't see a single tree.
And how are you able to get the water?
I keep feeling like there's a creek or a river somewhere close by.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my job before. The children go and help with the water because they love that. That's fun. So I would take them to the water. They all have almost like a small jug, and they're filling them. It looks like a makeshift well. It's like they just pour it into this spot in the ground. That doesn't make any sense because I would feel like the ground would suck it all up, but there's water in there.
So there's some sort of container that holds it?
Yeah.
So you fill up this container in the ground, and so then you can use the water from there later.
Correct.
And so how does your community feel about this particular location and staying there permanently? Or do people get to vote, I guess, on what to do?
Doesn't seem like they get to vote, but everybody's very happy. Everybody's doing exactly what they're supposed to do. No one's complaining. My dad's energy is just ridiculous. It's just like the minute that you're around him, you're fine, no matter what. It doesn't seem like anybody's mad at anything. We're all just doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
So he has a very calming presence.
Very.
Can you hear him calling you? When he calls you, what name does he use?
It sounds like Jenny, but he's not saying it right. It's weird. It's almost like Johnny. Maybe that's my name, I don't know. He says it and then laughs. I don't understand what the laugh's for. I almost feel like it's a nickname.
What language do you speak?
He definitely speaks English. Mm-hmm. But he's the only one that's talked through this whole thing. Everybody else just smiles.
Well, at least they're happy. But you can allow them to have voices, and you can begin to hear what they have to say as sounds become clearer and come towards you. What else do you hear around you?
I hear some animals, not sure what they are. I hear a girl, and she's just saying it's okay here. It's not great. But she's young. She doesn't know.
What happens to the disease that was in the city? Do you feel that you left that behind?
Yes.
So you're all healthy?
Correct.
Are you aware now of what the disease was?
It was some kind of a parasite, it looks like. We don't know where it came from. It might have come from the water, but they don't know. But we moved quite a ways away, so we're making sure that we're not on anything that we were on before. Not the same water, anything. Just to be sure. Because as he keeps saying, the strong survive. And he says it non-stop.
So is his focus on making you all strong?
Making sure we're all okay.
Okay. On the count of 3, you're going to move to the next significant day in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what is happening around you.
I'm all of a sudden very anxious. Something's about to happen, but I don't know what.
So as you breathe deeply and allow yourself to feel peace floating all through your body, your sense of awareness will increase, and you will be able to see and hear and understand things clearer. And so tell me what you're beginning to notice.
My dad's not good. That's why I'm anxious. He's dying.
Is he sick?
No. It looks like it was something with the hunting. It was an accident. He didn't mean it. He wasn't paying attention.
Did an animal hurt him?
Mm-hmm.
And he was brought back?
He's laying there, but he just knows it's only a matter of time.
And what do you do in that time?
I'm just hugging him, begging him not to go. And once again, he says the strong survive.
Take a deep, coming breath, observing what is happening, but yet feeling calm flowing through your body. Feel that sense of peace increasing, enveloping you. And allow yourself to move to the moment when he's ready to go. And tell me what that's like.
He said I have to be strong enough to take over. It's my job. But I don't want the job. He just keeps telling me I can do it. I'm strong.
What does he expect of you?
Nothing. He says that I can do it. Just do what I've always been doing.
So when he's talking about you taking over the job, is it more of a spiritual leadership?
Yes. He says that I don't have to be scared. I've known what to do all along. And he just said I love you. And now I know he's gone.
And as you feel that sense of love and connection, knowing that it does not go away, just feel peace and calm flowing gently through your body and allowing those images to fade away. I want you to move forward in time to the time when you see yourself either taking over his position as he wanted you or choosing a different path. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what happens to you.
I'm the leader, but I just have totally different clothes on. I'm not used to that.
What does it look like?
It's like I'm dressed like a queen, but it's just 20 people. It doesn't make sense. I'm telling everybody what to do. It doesn't seem any different. So I'm just proud that I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's been built. Everybody has a house now. I can even see almost like a little shop that we can go to now. There's probably 10 to 15 buildings now. It's like I oversee, but I don't run it. It's almost like there's a sheriff or something that I've appointed. I can see him. So he does all the mean stuff if necessary.
Is it necessary sometimes?
It is for the men. They have a problem with me because I'm a woman. He takes care of the men, I take care of the women. But we're not married. I gave him that role.
How do you feel about the men having a problem with you? Do they challenge you?
They do. It doesn't bother me at all. I feel like I know him.
The sheriff?
Mm-hmm.
And it can become much clearer to you. 1, 2, and 3.
It's my ex-husband.
Okay. And what is your relationship like in that life?
I can control him. And that's why I picked him. But he has a great nature with people. So he can get everybody to do what they need to do. He's perfect for the position. But I enjoy telling him what to do. And he listens perfectly.
Okay. So has your community grown at all?
Definitely. It looks like there's probably 50 of us now. I just see people out. But they're actually doing things now. Like I can see people going to other people's houses. They're just moving around. Where before everybody just had a task and we were on our tasks only. So I feel like everything's done now and we're finally like reaping our rewards.
Mm-hmm. And so other people are coming across your little town?
Yes.
And did you give a name to your town?
It seems like the name of the town is whatever my name is. Because it's that whole thing again. I keep hearing this Jana, Janae, Jano, something like that. And it's what my dad used to say constantly. It's like he named the town after me or something. That's why the guys have a problem. It was named after a woman.
Did your dad make that decision?
Yes. There was no negotiating that.
And can you see the name written somewhere?
I see, it's like when you enter, there's a piece of wood that's like over top of the road.
That welcomes people?
Right.
Uh-huh.
And it's carved. I can see the J and I can see the A. I can't see... I don't know why.
Allow the rest of it to become clear to you. As though the curtain lifts. And there's clarity that comes with it.
It looks like Janetta. Janetta.
And you said that your dad was laughing when he was calling you?
The town is Janetta. I feel like that's my name. But he calls me like Janae or Janea or something short. So he just chuckles after it. I don't know why he keeps chuckling.
Is that because when you were little maybe you couldn't pronounce it?
Could be.
So again, allow all the images to fade away. And on the count of 3, you will find yourself on the last day of that lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening around you.
I'm in bed, having a very hard time breathing.
Air will very easily flow through your lungs. You will be aware of the difficulty, but you will feel very comfortable. Are you ill?
Doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's just old age, but I can't breathe.
Okay. And approximately how old are you?
Old, like 90.
Who's around you?
Doesn't look like anybody.
Are you in the same house that you were before, or is it a different place?
No, same place.
Same place. So you stayed your whole life in that town?
I did.
Did you have a family, or did you stay by yourself?
I was by myself.
And were you in charge of that community throughout your whole life?
Yes.
And has the community grown?
No, we don't just want anyone in.
Are people happy or satisfied with how things are?
They are. They want more people. But I just keep saying no. They're going to have more people. They just are waiting for me to die.
And why did you want to keep it small?
Because everybody has a task. I feel like if you just let anybody in, not everybody has a task.
So things could get out of control.
Quickly. You need just enough to do your tasks.
Right. Do you know why you're having difficulty breathing?
I don't.
Is anybody else aware in the community that you're approaching death?
They all know.
And are they just waiting outside?
Yes.
And are you okay with that?
I am. I don't want them in.
Why do you not want them there?
I don't want to be a spectacle. I just want to die in peace. I like them all, but I don't love any of them. So I don't need them by me.
I see. So allow yourself to take a deep, comforting breath And on that breath, allow your spirit to leave your body and begin to ascend and heal and feel the ease with which you can now breathe. And as you look down at the body and at the community that you have left behind, tell me what you're feeling.
We were very successful. Our job was to make sure that those people were safe, and we did that. They needed for nothing. They recognize it now that I have gone and my father has gone. We did a good job, because now they're not in control anymore.
And really, what happens?
They're just letting anybody in. Exactly what I said they shouldn't do.
And what does that lead to?
It's just chaos. Nobody is doing anything. I told them.
Does the town come to some sort of a negative event?
Just looks like everybody's just running everywhere. Everybody's doing whatever they want to do. No one's going to look for food. No one's taking care of the children. It's like it's one party. Hope they get it together.
Yes. So allow them to go on their own way. And in the meantime, I want you to shift your focus to your soul as you have lifted out of the body and becoming more aware of your higher self, higher presence. And as you leave your body, somebody meets you there to welcome you back home. Do you notice who it is that greets you?
My dad, my son.
What is that meeting like?
He's so big. He's got his arms wide open. And I can see myself running as if I'm like 2 years old. Running to him full speed.
So do you see him as your son now, or as your dad in that life?
You know, now that I'm saying that, I don't know if it's him. The feeling is so amazing. It's almost like it's God. It's just feels so good that he's completely wrapped around me, and all I can hear is just welcome.
As you hold each other and feel that love, I wonder if there's any insight that he can offer you, so that you can understand the direction of that life a little bit better, so you can see it from a higher perspective, see your purpose in that life, and the purpose of your relationship in that life.
He definitely wanted me to know that I could do it. I didn't think I could, and I did. We continued to grow, but we didn't grow too fast. We did everything exactly how we needed to do it to survive. And he is so proud of me.
What do you feel was your purpose for that life?
Seems like I was supposed to lead, but I knew there would be obstacles along the way. So I successfully put the people in place, like my sheriff, to make sure those obstacles did not become obstacles. To prove that a woman can do it.
So was it then to experience leadership?
Yes, as a woman.
And do you feel it was a different style of leadership than it would have been if you were a man?
Yes.
Okay. And so you feel that you were successful at it?
Very.
Wonderful. Allow all of those images to begin to fade away. And we're going to ask if the soul that came in as your father in that life has been with you in any other lifetime.
All he keeps saying is, the strong will survive. Will you please stop? It is my son. He's gotten younger now. Now he looks more like my son again.
Okay. He just changed his appearance.
Yes.
Okay. And I'd like you to ask him why that phrase is significant, the strong will survive. What is he trying to tell you with that phrase?
He's saying I can do anything. Stop doubting myself. I'm doubting myself all the time. He says, I'm very strong. Why are you doubting yourself? He says, you're doubting yourself because of me.
Because of what happened to him in this life?
Yes.
Is he allowing you to let go of that?
He's definitely telling me to. I don't know why I don't want to.
Okay. So let's go back to the experience and the way that he left Earth this time around. Go ahead and ask him to explain to you why he left so early.
I chose my time.
What was his plan for life that made it his time?
Just keep saying my time.
Okay. But it was definitely his decision.
No, he doesn't act like that. He keeps saying, they said it's my time. I had to go, it was my time. But he doesn't believe that.
So what does he believe?
He believes he screwed up. He screwed up too many times. He felt like he didn't have a choice. Feels like he was taken off, but I know that's not true. He just keeps saying, I screwed up. I screwed up too many times.
Is it his human conscious level that's saying that?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure that you're seeing him at his soul level. That you're communicating directly with his soul, from your soul level to his soul level. Where the vision is so much broader and so much more powerful. Where you can see things that are so difficult to see on a human level. So on that level, how does he explain his exit?
He doesn't know. At least that's what he keeps telling me. I don't know. I don't know.
At a soul level, he does. And so that's okay. If this is something that perhaps you're not supposed to know yet, or perhaps you're not connecting to him at a level where you can access it. You will allow yourself, through your dreams, to connect with him and continue to gain a greater understanding. And I want you to ask him if he tries to communicate with you through your daughter.
He says yes. How else would I, He said I even had a beer in my hand. Did I need to tell you anything else?
So why does he come to your daughter?
She can see him.
Is that a confirmation enough for you?
Yes.
Okay. So you can trust her when she shares with you experiences of communicating with him?
Yes.
And so when he comes to her and he tries to communicate, what is it that he tries to tell you, or the messages he wants to send you?
For some reason, I feel like he told her about that dream not because it's what he was going to be. It's what he's on this earth doing right now.
What was the dream?
That he's going to be a lawyer and have 2 kids. He's here now doing that.
So he has incarnated again?
Yes.
And that is his plan for this life?
Correct.
Wonderful. So that dream was not about the
Right.
potentials he had missed in his life, but what he's coming back to do now.
Yes, he never got to raise children in the last life.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants children.
And how does it feel to know that about him?
They're beautiful.
Can you ask him why you're having a hard time hearing or feeling anything from him?
Says you're stubborn.
Mm-hmm. And so you tend to doubt things, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the more you doubt, the harder it is for him to come through.
Yeah, he says that he does something often. He said, I know what it is. And I do, it's the birds.
He communicates to you through the birds?
Through the cardinals.
And do you see them?
I do.
Beautiful. So from now on, when you see them, you'll know he's around. Good. So before you let him go, I'd like you to ask him if there is anything else he wants to tell you now. This is the opportunity that you have to talk directly to each other and really see each other.
He's just giving me a big hug and I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just telling me he loves me. He's fine. And then I will definitely see him again. And of course he just said, get over it. Which is so him. And he's so handsome.
And so that feeling of guilt that you used to have, is it time for you to let it go now?
Yeah. He just said, it's so stupid, Mom. And he made his choices, I didn't. And he tells me to stop. I told him not to go that night. And he knows that. But he just didn't want to listen. It was fast. He says it was fast, it wasn't painful. And he's happy.
Good. So as you enjoy that closeness, that direct contact, that love, that hug, let him go for now, knowing that you can reconnect with him at any moment. That even though part of him is now incarnated on earth again, there is always a part of him that is there, that you can connect with, that you can feel. And as you let those images fade away, I'd like you to allow that whole life that we have just visited and all of the characters there to drift away. And I want all of the consciousness and personality of Kendra to fully integrate back into the body. And I would like to speak to the higher consciousness of Kendra. Do I have permission to ask you questions?
Yes.
I know that you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Kendra to examine today. But you chose to bring the life in that desert community. Why did you pick that particular lifetime?
Because of her bond with her dad. She needed to see that. Her son and her have been together numerous times, and they will continue to be together. That bond is very strong. She needed that for comfort.
Good. So I thank you then for sharing that with her. Can you help her understand her connection, her soul contracts with other people in her life? So one of the people that was in that lifetime, the sheriff, just to confirm, was he in her present life?
Yes.
And who was he?
Her ex-husband.
Okay. And what was the contract between them on a soul level?
She knew that she could be strong, but she needed almost like a crutch. So he was put there strictly to allow her to do exactly what she thought she could do all along. She didn't need him, and she realized it very quickly.
So he was kind of a trigger to remind her
To be strong, with or without him.
Mm-hmm. And so once she realized that, then their contract was over.
Exactly.
Okay. What about her current husband? What is the connection between them on a soul level? Why did they choose to come together?
It's that they need to learn how the other side lives. They're two extremes. One out of poverty and one out of wealth. There's nothing wrong with either side. You have to learn how the other half lives.
So they're exposing each other to the other side of life?
Right. Understanding what makes someone who's poor tick in comparison to what's important to someone that's rich. Because they're totally different. And she's got to learn that.
And so it's important for them to continue to explore that?
Yes. She's got to stop criticizing. That's the biggest thing. Find the good, not the bad.
And the work that she's been doing here with me so far, is it helping her to reach that point?
It is. She just has to remember it. She's very, very stubborn. She's just got to remember how good she feels now and don't go back. Don't allow it.
Good. And I want to ask about her daughter, about her relationship with her daughter and their soul contract and why they chose to be in each other's lives.
It's almost the exact same thing. She needs to learn that there's another side to everyone. And she just can't see it. It's her way or it's no way.
So that almost takes me back to that life that you showed her, where the life in that whole town had to proceed according to her rule. Is this where she sort of absorbed that feeling that she knew best and she needed to control how people lived?
Yes, because everything was almost so successful that no one questioned her. And now people question, and she doesn't like that.
And is that where the rage comes from, being questioned?
Yes. She just can't see the other side. She just needs to stop. Don't get upset, just stop. Take a breath. Understand that everybody doesn't think alike. And she doesn't do that. She's got to take the breath.
And so the people in her life are helping her to see that a community can live and have different views.
Right.
Okay. All of those people, are they all part of her soul family?
Her son and her daughter are. Nobody else is. They're just lessons.
And a soul family can help you learn lessons.
They're very important. They're just not going to follow her once she learns this piece.
And she'll be okay with it?
Yes.
Thank you. So there is a deeper connection with her daughter then?
Yes.
And can you help her see that connection? Because in waking life she has a hard time.
They were sisters before. She needs to think of it as a sister. You love her and hate her at the same time.
When were they sisters?
It was a long time ago.
When her daughter comes to her with information, she really does have greater awareness.
Her daughter is very spiritual. She's not afraid of anything. Death, anything. That would actually help her if she would talk to her more about that.
Is Kendra open to doing that?
She's scared, but if she'll do it, she'll feel a lot better.
Okay. So Kendra was wondering if she has always been on Earth. Now we know that she might have been in different places before, but from the time that she started incarnating on Earth, has she always stayed there, or does she go to other places as well?
No, she's always here.
Okay. And has she had many lifetimes on Earth?
Yes.
And is she going to continue here?
Yes.
Okay. In terms of continuing to return here on Earth, she was thinking that she would only return if she didn't fulfill her purpose. What would you say to her on that?
She's going to come back. She'll be just fine. She has her purposes. She does that well. She's been here numerous times. She'll fulfill that purpose. She just needs to stop being so stubborn. Enjoy life. It's way too short.
Can you tell Kendra more about her spiritual entourage? Who is around her? who is guiding her, supporting her?
I definitely see her grandmother, but a lot of them are people that she has met in previous lives that just were not in this life. So she doesn't realize who they are.
But there are a lot of beings around her.
Yes. And they help her a ton.
Can you give her an example of how they help her or guide her that she can take into her conscious memory so she knows for sure?
She has to listen to the birds. She walks. She needs to listen when she's walking.
Okay.
They are talking to her constantly. She's just not listening.
Kendra sometimes experiences feelings of depression. Can you help her understand why that is?
She's just so quick to assume that no one likes her, and that's so not true. So she gets herself down in this. She just needs to realize everybody's there for her.
That seems like, again, it may be coming from that life that you presented to her. At the end of the life, she said she liked the people under her care, but she didn't love them. There wasn't a connection, except for the need to have them follow her rules.
It's like she doesn't know how to love. She's trying. She's trying so hard, but unfortunately she was not taught how to love. And neither was her mother, and neither was her grandmother. So she needs to step back and realize that love is all around her, and it's not made of money. It's not made of accomplishments. It's not made of leadership. She's so worried about being the best of the best of the best, and she needs to stop. She's good enough.
And can you give her the feeling right now, what love feels like, where it's not a doing, it's a being? Can you give her that visceral feeling of what it feels like when you're just loved, when you just are loved, without having to be or do anything? Just smiling.
She feels it.
Wonderful. Can you intensify it 10 times and send it into every cell of her body and let it integrate so that any time she needs to remember, she can tap into this feeling again. And she can let go of the defensiveness, of the need to defend against the challengers, the need to get angry, and relax into this love, which is always in the present moment, isn't it? So she can connect with her guides, those that are talking to her. So before we do a body scan, is there anything else that you need to tell her that would be helpful for her to know?
No.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just run a body scan from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. And just notice anything that is off balance and that needs attention. And let me know what it is.
She holds all her stress in her neck. And she definitely needs to I think she needs to go to the doctor. Her right heel is just not right. She has a lot of pain from it.
So let's start with her neck first. And I'd like you to do what you can right now to release any existing stress from her neck. Relax the muscles, adjust her posture, adjust whatever needs to be done. And tell me when it's done.
It's done.
Wonderful. Is she feeling a release now?
Yes.
Good. Now, what would help in the future with keeping that stress out of her neck?
Her breathing exercises. She needs to just breathe, calm herself back down. It's all stress. There's nothing more than what that is.
Okay. Good. Well, thank you for that. So let's go to the heel of her right foot. I want you to go into her body and identify where the issue is. And see if you can take care of it now. And she can go to the doctor to make sure that it's okay.
I can at least make it better for now.
Okay, go ahead and do that. And where do you notice the problem is originating?
It is definitely in the arch of her foot. She walked barefoot for too long. As long as she wears a very good supporting shoe or something, it might work, but it's deep. It's just been so long.
So she needs to have it checked out by a physician?
Yes.
Okay. And are you able to relieve her discomfort now?
A little, but not very much.
Are there healers within her soul group that can come and help on the spirit level?
Yes.
So let's call in the healers that can work with her body on a spirit level so that then the healing can materialize in the physical.
It shouldn't hurt as much. She still needs to go, but at least it won't hurt as much.
It is done?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anything else you're noticing in the body that needs attention?
No.
Okay, thank you. So she has been sweating quite a bit throughout her life. And I wonder if you can help her understand what the cause for that is. And if there's anything that can be adjusted to change it.
It actually goes with her neck. She has so much stress and discomfort that that's the only place that it seems to come out, because she doesn't sweat anywhere else. So she's got to get that under control. She needs to meditate.
So by managing the stress, she can reduce the amount of sweat.
Yes. She just takes on, it's not your problem. Live alone. Stop being the leader. You don't need to be the leader.
So she can leave that life behind.
Yes. She's so worried about what everybody else is doing. Who cares? Live your own.
Okay. Well, that life was a very impactful one on her. I mean, she accomplished quite a lot, so it's understandable why she carries it with her. Can you help her to begin to disconnect the Akashic memory so that she can remember the good things? But the things that are negatively affecting her will begin to fall behind the curtain. So it doesn't quite come to the surface this often and doesn't quite influence her this much right now. Just releasing, letting go, venting out, and relaxing into her current life. So that need of a leader to be obeyed and followed can begin to loosen its grip on her. Can you help her do that?
Yes.
Can you continue to do that even as she leaves here today? Through her dreams, through knowing, through synchronicities, through vision, through emotions, in different ways.
Yes.
Thank you. And so I have one last question. After the death of her son, who was killed by a truck, a semi, on a highway, she began to fear semis. Can you help her to release that? Or is there anything that she needs to understand now to disconnect from that?
She's reliving that because she feels at fault, and she's not at fault. He made his own decisions. He picked his own time. So let it be. Know you did nothing wrong, and let it be. She won't have it anymore.
And so does she understand that it was his decision to go?
Yes.
And does she begin to feel that fear going away?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, before we wrap up and say goodbye to you, I want to give you a last opportunity for today to communicate directly to Kendra and give her a message if you feel there's anything that you want to tell her.
She is so beautiful in so many ways, but she doesn't see those. She just sees the areas that she thinks she needs improvement. Just live for the moments that she's already got mastered, knowing that you can work on the others.
Okay, thank you. So now I'd like to ask you, the higher consciousness, to recede to where you belong with much love and thanks for the help and information that you have given Kendra today.